Two New Jersey water utilities lost the ability to remotely control parts of their systems. The water kept flowing. Why? Because operators switched to manual operations. In early August 2026, two municipal water systems in New Jersey were targeted in cyber attacks that temporarily disrupted their ability to remotely monitor and manage operational control systems. The utilities haven't been publicly identified, but what happened next is what interests me. The operators moved quickly to manual operations. Water service continued. Customers retained access to safe drinking water. There was no reported disruption to service. I'm Anne Marie Vandenherk, Executive Crisis Readiness Advisor. My work sits at the intersection of crisis readiness and governance, specifically decision authority under pressure. And I think these New Jersey incidents give us a useful example of what resilience actually looks like. The fallback worked, but a fallback system doesn't create resilience simply because it exists. Someone has to know when to use it. Someone has to know how to use it. And someone has to have the authority to make that transition. I call this the manual override problem because there's a big difference between saying we can operate manually and knowing under these conditions, this person has the authority to take us manual. That matters in operational technology environments because cybersecurity and operations may be working on two different timelines. The cyber team needs to understand what happened, which systems were accessed, what changed. Can we trust the control environment? Has the attacker been contained? Those questions matter, but operations has a different problem. Water still needs to flow. Pressure still needs to be maintained. Treatment processes still have to operate safely. Customers still need service. And those operational decisions may need to happen before the cyber investigation is finished. The FBI and the EPA have actually highlighted this in their guidance following the recent attacks on water and wastewater systems. They've told operators to practice and maintain the ability to run operational technology manually. And the FBI has said that the impact of these attacks depended partly on whether organizations could make that switch. But here's the governance question I would add. Who is allowed to make it? A continuity plan might say, switch to manual operations. Fine. But who can authorize that? The operator? The plant supervisor? The utility director? Does the cyber security team need to approve it? Does someone in executive leadership need to be contacted first? And what happens if the person who normally has the authority isn't available? Those are not technical questions. They're decision authority questions. And the New Jersey incidents appear to have gone well. There's no public evidence that the utilities struggled with authority. Quite the opposite. Their rapid move to manual operations suggests the response worked, which is exactly why this case is a good one. It allows every other critical infrastructure organization to ask, what had to be already in place for that response to happen so quickly? The operators needed the technical capability. They needed the operational knowledge. They needed to recognize that remote operations could no longer be relied on, and they needed to be able to act. So here's the question I would ask your leadership team. If your automated environment became unreliable right now, could the person operating it tell you exactly who has the authority to switch to the fallback? And could that decision still happen if the primary decision maker wasn't available? Because testing the backup isn't enough. You also have to test the decision. Can the team recognize the trigger? Do they know who owns the call? Does that person know they're authorized to make it? And can the organization move without unnecessary delay? That's where a continuity plan becomes an operating capability. The New Jersey utilities gave us an encouraging example. The technology was disrupted. Operators shifted to manual. The water kept flowing. That's resilience. But the broader lesson is this: the technology may have a manual override. Your governance needs one too.